Hey, everybody. I'm Bridget Greenberg. I'm here with my co-host. Your name?
Sarah Griffith.
And this is, can you believe it or not, Rough Stuff.
Yes!
We're at it again. The girls are back in town.
The crowd goes wild.
The girls
oh my
are back
God,
in town.
the fans have been clamoring for it. We back, baby.
Let's go. Yeah, we wanted to bring this back because we enjoy doing it. It was fun for us, as much as talking about movies is. We
A blast.
We like to dig up our past too, and we took a hiatus. Booking guests is hard, so we're shifting.
We're shifting. History. We kind of fell off in 2020 when we had to go remote, and that was really difficult to book guests. So we did the natural thing, which was just to stop altogether and not try at all.
Just a cold quit.
Plus, we were so invested in the Fast and the Furious. I mean, I quit my full-time job.
It was 2020, and all I could think about was the Fast and the Furious.
Honestly, Vin Diesel really got me through some really tough moments. I kind of am not kidding about that.
Yeah, no, it was keeping us going in a way that dredging up our past might not have.
And I actually have a friend who's watching the Fast and the Furious for the first time, and she tweeted, Letty and Dom, Endgame, OTP, like the greatest on-screen couple of all time. I'm like, this is what I've been saying for many, many years now.
Many moons. Yeah.
Yeah, but Rough Stuff.
I almost just went off on a tangent. But
to talk about the Fast and Furious. I also thought we were going to be shooting threes today, so we're going to do all of our podcasts in one.
Right. We used to start this podcast off by saying an embarrassing fact about ourselves.
Yeah, and that's mine. My embarrassing fact is I immediately saw Bridget. I was like, Jesus Christ, this movie, and she was like, which?
Yeah, and I'm Bridget Greenberg, and I just straight up did not do my homework.
It's just a miscommunication. That's okay.
Yeah.
It happens. It's okay. We have 13 other podcasts we could be recording right now. So if it's not the one
or
I
Sarah
thought it was
could
alone,
alone.
I'll just take it over on the one and the two and just talk. Yeah, but so this is Rough Stuff again. We're revamping the show. We will have guests, but we're also going to be having a lot of episodes. Just this me and B just shooting the shit.
Just two buddies.
We're going to be talking in general terms about shit in life that is embarrassing, not just embarrassing from our past, but things that embarrass us still to this very day, which is true for me, of the subject we're speaking on today, which is crushes.
Crushes. I was really hoping I could organically say that at the same time as you, but I mistimed it completely.
You fully are in another time zone. As we say. We're also recording in my apartment, which is a different vibe. We've never done this before.
It's a little goofier in here. It's a little looser.
It's a little silly. Like, that's the vibe I have in my apartment. It's just like fucking silly. It's silly.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We talked about this. Oh God, I'm going to keep going back to Fast and the Furious. It's just a reflex.
I mean, why not?
We talked about this.
A new one is coming. Like, a new one. It's on us right now.
It's coming.
It's over our shoulder.
We're ready for it. We're ready to hear the engines. But we talked about this a little when we talked about Hobbs and Shaw, that I in the Statham, the very like clean lines, clean apartment. You're the Rock. You're a little looser. You're waking up in your beach bungalow.
Yeah, I'm like cool, man. I'm like chill. I'm like whatever. You can like, just come to my apartment and like, just like, whatever.
I'm uncomfortable.
I did see a thing online, which I'm now going to bring into this, that was like, when a man's apartment is dirty, it's like, ew, stinky boy, like, you can't do anything, like, weaponize incompetence, blah, blah. But when a woman's apartment is messy, it's like Sofia Coppola, creative, like, she's mysterious, she's an artist. Actually, very Sons Before trilogy.
Right.
Her apartment's a little bit kind of weird.
Kind of eclectic.
Little eclectic.
Yeah. Sarah's your typical manic pixie dream girl.
That's me. If I'm one thing, it is that.
It's that.
Which is why I've had such success with dating. Of course.
It's true. Yeah. Way to tie it back.
Listen, baby. I'm on one. This is my apartment.
She's a pro.
We're in my house.
It's Sarah's territory.
It's my house. Yes. So crushes. When do you remember a first crush? Were you even cognizant that you had a crush on a person at the time?
No. This is going to sound weird. I feel like my mom was pushing agendas of like, you have crushes on boys when I was too young to even have that notion. Like if I wanted to
Yes.
have a play date with a male friend when I was in kindergarten, it was always like, oh, it's a date. And I was
That
like,
is called toxic heterosexuality. It is
Yeah.
a plague.
yeah.
Yeah.
And looking back on it now, it's weird. But I mean, I do, of course, I remember having crushes. I'm gonna open this up by
Say first and last names.
first and last name. No, because I feel like a first crush is almost always gonna be some sort of TV or movie show character.
Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah, you're right. You are so right.
Yeah, at least in my like brain that has been completely shaped by TV
No,
and
I
movies.
think I think it's safe. I think especially when you're a kid and you maybe don't have like you're in preschool, you're in kindergarten. Like, how long are you even in school? Like, what kind of socializing are you doing anyway? Like,
right.
I think it's safe to kind of explore
Yeah.
that part of you through fiction.
Yeah. I remember. This is another very weird, embarrassing thing
Well,
that my mother
we're
did.
recording rough stuff, so
I'm
good
putting,
news.
I'm putting my mother on blast, I guess, because this was a very weird thing, and I think about it all the time, and it's very weird. I think she had a huge crush on Matthew McConaughey, the one of the early aughts that was in rom-coms.
The crushable one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And I agreed, but I don't think my brain was fully there yet.
Were you like a little embarrassed?
So no, because I think I was just enjoying the rom-com films that he happened to be the lead in at that age, but
Okay.
not connecting that like this is an attraction. But
Okay.
I think because my mom was attracted to him and I was watching those movies with her, it was like we both have a crush on this cute celebrity.
Wow, that is interesting because I remember like I have a very distinct memory of my mom talking about how cute Brad Pitt was. And I remember being so
Sure.
embarrassed. Like, oh my God, shut up. Like, ooh, like to the point like when I saw Brad Pitt on the cover of People magazine with like Jennifer Aniston,
Yeah.
I'm sure. I was like, oh my God, ooh, that's the guy that my mom thinks is like so like I was really kind of embarrassed by that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, here's where the embarrassing thing comes in.
Oh, brother.
At one point, this is embarrassing for her, not for me. And I think that's why I'm stuttering, because it's very weird that she did this. But at one point, I guess there was a magazine that he was in, and she cut out a picture of him and put it in a heart frame and put it on my desk.
Wait, that is weird.
It's right.
How old were you?
I don't remember. I like probably 9 to 11 age.
Okay, that I'm picturing like when I was talking about Brad Pitt, I think I was like 6, 7, 8.
Okay, yeah, I was a little older where
Okay.
I was probably a little bit of a late bloomer, so like those things hadn't kicked into gear, and I think maybe it was my mom's way of being like,
Sure.
hey, you're grown up now, like if you have a crush, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm here with you, but it's so embarrassing for her that I feel embarrassed.
Did you like keep it up in your room or were you immediately like, absolutely not?
It was like on a shelf on my desk for a little while, and then at a certain point I looked at it and just like put it in a drawer because I was like, this is weird. Once I recognized it was weird.
Yeah. I mean,
I did think he was cute though. Like
a photo of a cute guy in your childhood bedroom. I mean, this is true of any
It was weird that
gender
it was-
of any person. Like
Sure.
this is pretty normal.
Oh yeah.
But in the frame.
Is
that
weird.
is a lot.
Because like
That is a lot.
because I also got like the teen magazines where there were like
Yes.
cute pictures of like Jonathan Taylor Thomas
Yes.
and Aaron Carter.
Yeah.
Which I don't think they ever like went up on my bedroom, but I remember like talking with my friends about them, and she brought like overheard that, and then she did this weird adult woman version of it that doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it's definitely a statement.
But jumping ahead, it couldn't be too many years.
You were getting drinks in LA and Matthew McConaughey came up.
Walked in, yeah. No, we've spoken about this off the record before. One of my first, I think, real crushes in like a sexual awakening kind of way was Dr. Jesse Chase from House.
And that is we've never
that-
talked about this, I don't
Have
think,
we?
but that
Oh.
we've talked about House and how fucking good House
Houses,
is.
yeah.
But that's
a
really
that's-
good one. He
Yeah.
is gorgeous.
I was
absolutely gorgeous.
Obsessed with finding myself a blonde Australian surfer doctor.
Oh, I mean, aren't we? To this day.
To
And
this
if you're
day.
listening, DM me for
Right.
fuck's sake.
Yeah, in 30 Rock, Liz Lemon has astronaut Mike Dexter,
Yes,
who's her
yeah.
dream man.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's Dr. Jesse Chase, surfer, Australian diagnostician.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah, that's what it was. Wow.
Yeah.
What a series. My God.
Yeah, and his floppy blonde hair.
The floppy hair was a real moment for
Yeah.
cute boys back in that day.
Yeah, and I know for a lot of people I know who are attracted to women, their answer for early of our age is always Rachel Weisz in The Mummy.
Oh, yes. I know she's big with the gay women,
Yeah,
with the lesbians, with the bis.
with the men as well, with the straight men as well, with the straight boys.
What's the Anakin Skywalker? The men, the women, and the children. Like, everybody has a crush on Rachel Weisz.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just...
Who do you think, your first
Well,
real...
actually, like, not even in a funny way, I questioned my own sexuality up until I was 26.
Sure.
Because it took me a really long time, I'm talking like maybe even college, for me to realize, oh, this emotion I have for this boy is a crush. I was like, as I've talked about on the show 3 years ago when we would do the show regularly.
So long ago.
Yeah, right. I definitely was a victim of like internalized misogyny.
Sure.
When I was
Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely was myself.
for sure. When I was like young and I would watch things on TV, always the girl, like the main girl character and the main boy character would always get together.
Right.
And I always kind of hated that. I always preferred when they were friends because in my like young mind, I was like, oh, she's giving up something by being like romantically involved.
Oh, interesting.
Like I actually was that political even at a young age. I didn't have like the language for it, but
Right.
it was the feeling of like, ew, can't she just be like on her own? This is why I really liked Ron and Hermione in the Harry Potter books when I was
Right.
growing up, because I was like, oh, this is fucking nice that Harry and Hermione aren't a couple.
Yeah.
It's like these are the two main people and they're doing their own things and they're genuinely friends.
Yeah, it always... I think there was also like a comfort because I think it was... Yeah, I mean, obvious. At that age, my relationship to boys were all like, they're just my friends. I just
You also
wanted
had
them-
a brother, which I
Yeah.
am interested. Like, do you think that played a fact? Because I also, when I was younger, I'm the oldest daughter of another sister. I really wanted boys to be my friend, and I really did not want them to think of me as a girl they could potentially have a crush on.
Yeah.
But I wonder, not to like psychoanalyze you, but like maybe because you did have like a boy who was a friend in your own home.
Right.
I don't know. Is that anything? I just like went on a whole spiel. I'm like, I don't even think this fucking adds up, but
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I think I'm also a little skewed because I was such a tomboy and just like wanted to
Yeah.
play sports before like any of those feelings really came to play.
true.
And I just wanted to be like an equal.
That's how I felt. And I felt if any boy had a crush on me, they wouldn't see me as an equal anymore.
Yeah. But it was weird.
Like I
'cause-
really wanted to be one of the boys. Actually, I don't know if I mentioned this on the show. I was very woke in 4th grade because in recess, I would always play football with the boys. They said that I had my own gender. There were boys and there was girls and there were Sarahs.
Isn't
Isn't that fucking woke?
that's cool.
2002 America. Kids are saying this.
That is pretty cool. I'm trying to think now because
Well,
you
by
said-
all means, let's be completely silent. This is excellent for podcast. let's just be quiet for a minute and think.
okay, let me gather my thoughts.
Yeah, but I did have a boy
I was
have
wondering
a crush on
who
me.
was going to break.
Oh, me.
first.
I did have a boy have a crush on me in 4th grade. His name was Bradford Reed. I'll say fucking first and last. I don't give
Wow.
a goddamn. Bradford Reed.
Dox him while you're at it.
Yeah, if I knew where he lived. I remember this clear as day. He was like my guy friend that I felt like he's so cool. We're equals. We both loved Indiana Jones together. Like I really felt like I was one of the boys. And this is so like picturesque. If this were any other girl, this would be a beautiful memory. But because it's me, I was like, we were in his treehouse after
Ooh.
school because he lived literally across the street from our elementary school.
Yeah.
And he had a sick backyard. He had a treehouse and a zip line from the treehouse down
Sick.
into the park. Yeah, and it wasn't like a huge backyard.
And you didn't
but
marry this man for his treehouse?
No, I mean Bradford. I'm single. I don't know if you are. If you're listening to this, Bradford Austin Reed. I don't know if that's his middle name.
Right
but
away
he's-
to his treehouse.
Yeah, but it was just the two of us, and that was pretty normal at the time. And our parents were like talking inside, whatever. And he said, you know, I like you, right? And I said, okay.
Oh.
And I can't remember what happened after the fact. And later when I told my mom about this, she said, all you said was okay. Like, that was a little bit mean. Like, you know, maybe you could have said like, okay, thank you for telling me that, or like any other kind of language. But that was kind of an early moment that I recognized, like, now looking back, I really did like him a lot. Because I really was like, oh, he's like a boy, like I'm a boy, and we're boys together.
He's my boy.
It was Mulan. It really was fucking Mulan. And I think looking back on it, maybe I did have a crush on him back. But again, in my mind, being the girlfriend, being the crush was like somehow lesser than, because I really had a hard time with thinking of femininity as lesser than masculinity, and like being a girlfriend, having a crush that's girly and that's bad.
Yeah, that's where I got tripped up, because I think, because I was of two minds the whole time. Like, I wanted to be seen as like an equal to these boys that I just wanted to play sports and hang out and like be one of my older brother's cool friends. But also, there was definitely a time where I started realizing.
You're fine.
There was definitely a time where I started realizing like, oh, I don't remember actively having crushes on these boys, but being like, I do, something about me wants them to see me as like also a dating option.
Yeah, that happened to me in middle school.
Yeah, around middle school age. I
remember like actively 7th and 8th grade. I had a gaggle of guy friends, and they would always talk about, this was what was kind of killer, and maybe you can relate. The guys would talk about my girlfriends like, oh yeah, she's cute, and like I'm gonna talk to her, whatever. And it was kind of like, I'm also a girl. Yeah. But I never really had it in me to even like play that game, because I was still kind of struggling with that.
I was so behind the 8 ball that like my only response to actually having a crush was like double down on being a bro with them.
Yeah.
Was like even go harder into like, we're buddies. And it's tough because also the first boy I ever kissed was like my neighborhood football buddy. Like,
ooh, that's so like not as an adult I'm saying this, but as like a 7th grader, like that's kind of erotic. Like, wow, that's like a book. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember there was definitely some of that involved, because I don't think either of us really had crushes on each other, but we just knew like, this is a good story, this is a good vibe, let's try to stick each other.
Also, like a touch of horniness from both ends. I mean, you're at that age.
Yeah. It definitely was just like, you're now 13 and 14, and you guys mostly just like walk around and loiter in the neighborhood together, so why don't you try to mash your tongues at each other? Which is what kissing at that age is.
Can I tell an embarrassing story?
Why
I know
else
we
are
were
we
talking
here?
about the Fast and the Furious, but I do have an embarrassing story I want to tell.
Okay, yeah.
This is actually kind of tough. I haven't spoken about this in a very long time, but I had a friend, Aiden Kennedy, first and last name, I don't give a fuck. He's actually a great DJ. He was the one that we saw at the pool that one time.
Oh, yeah.
Cool mix, cool guy.
Sarah and I
day.
see DJs by the pool.
Yeah, we're like really fucking. No, he's just a friend of mine. He was in town. We caught up, and it was a really nice, like, I haven't really spoken to him since 8th grade. It was one of those things where like we just immediately fell back into like catching up and being friends. He's one of those boys that I think I had a crush on before I knew I had a crush on him.
Sure, yeah.
And we were in debate together, and my middle school debate team was like the thing. Like, it was what all the cool kids do. It was like debate and forensics, but we just called it debate. We did a lot of like weekend tournaments at high schools in the suburbs, and then sometimes like for state and nationals we would have to go like out of town. Like, this is like classic middle school, everyone's in a hotel room culture. Like, honestly, some of the most happy days of my life on one of those fucking trips.
Yeah,
like, life is simple. You have $20 in cash and there's a mall nearby. Like, that's so easy. Yeah. I wish I could do that today.
Oh yeah,
without like drugs or alcohol, of course. But he at that trip, like, I guess there was another girl a year younger than us in debate. We were in 8th grade, that they started like going steady on this trip. And I was so mad and humiliated, but I didn't know that I was humiliated. So I was just mad. And at the time I was like, I just can't believe like he and Grace, I can't remember her name. Grace, we'll call her. I can't believe he and Grace are like dating all of a sudden. Like I'm supposed to be his best friend. Like he didn't even tell me about this. Like, are you kidding me? Like all of a sudden they're together. Like I got all huffy. He did the earnest thing to try to like, hey, can we talk? And I was just kind of like, no. And like I walked away from him and I was really upset. And I think what it was I was jealous.
Yeah, that's what it absolutely
totally. I mean, right as I'm saying it out loud, it's like very obviously I'm jealous.
Yeah.
But it was kind of a big thing because me and Aiden were like attached to the hip and then we just weren't talking. I mean, by the end of the day, we had made up. I said, hug it out, bitch, because I was watching The Office at the time. And I didn't know that was a reference, I think from The Wire or like another show entirely. But anyway, yeah. And I still like kind of feel bad about it to this day that like I really put Aiden through the ringer just by giving him the silent treatment. But it's also like, now it's like, God damn, isn't it obvious, Aiden, that like I had a crush on you?
Yeah.
And also, yeah, like, of course I want to go back in time and tell my younger self, like, you're around this boy all the time. He was also a neighborhood boy. Like we could hang out on the weekends and walk to each other's house. Like it was fucking beautiful. And it's like, here comes this girl like out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah, there's part of it that's like, oh, and, like, our friendship's gonna be different now.
Yeah. But it was like a classic like coming of age. Like I thought we were best friends, but I think I had a crush. And I think really what that was, because I really didn't know how I felt. I just knew I was angry. I think I was heartbroken. I think I really was like,
it's a classic.
That's why they call it a crush.
It's a classic, right beneath your nose the whole time.
Yeah.
Like if you could only see, if you could only get over yourself enough to realize you have everything right there.
Yeah.
And you let it slip away.
Yeah. And you know what's so funny? Like when I was younger, the word crush, ew, I was so embarrassed by that. Yeah. When people are like, you've got a crush, I'm like, oh my God, shut the fuck up. Now I say crush all the time. I think it's a great term to use. Word. When like I use crush when it's like, there's this guy, like I could have a crush on him. I'm crushing on him. And that could be like, I could have sex with him. I could go on a date with him. And then it's like, there's crushing hard, which is like what I'm doing for Joe Burrow.
Yes. Where
it's like, oh no, I'm actively like, I'm in love with him.
Right. Yeah. You kind of let yourself run away with the fantasy.
Yeah, I just like I started my life being like so afraid of the word and the experience, whatever. And now like I'm coming to appreciate like it's actually like a great, because it's like there's there's really like there's there's love, God forbid.
Ugh.
And then but like earlier before all that, it's like, oh yeah, just a little crush.
Yeah.
It's a crush. It could go somewhere. Maybe it won't have to. But it's like I'm soft. I'm a little crush on him.
It's also in modern day, because dating has changed so much.
Yes.
If
it's become such like bullshit. Like,
well, yeah, you don't even with app dating, which has its uses. I met my boyfriend over. Look how easily I said that. My boyfriend over an app, but yeah, you don't. It doesn't give you the opportunity to crush.
Yeah, that is true talking. We're talking.
Yeah, like it's immediately like we're on the same page. We know why we're here on this first date. It doesn't give you that longing opportunity.
I think a first Hinge date is an interview for sex.
Yes.
It is like, okay, these are my qualifications. Now let me ask you a few questions.
Yeah.
What's your family history like?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know.
That's it. Did you ever at what age did you finally accept that you have crushes, and did you ever try to follow up on one?
Okay. I think my true earnest, okay, yes, I have a crush. Yes, I'm coming to like this guy. Okay. Was when I was 19.
Okay.
Which is late.
Yeah, sure.
And it's also the year that I had my first period.
Oh.
So when I tell people I'm a late bloomer, I do mean that literally. I got my period and then immediately I was like, ooh, I'm horny. You guys feel that? I'm horny. Yeah.
Puberty hit you hard.
My breasts are developing. Anybody else doing this? And it's like, we're sophomores in college. I'm like, I know, but you know. It was anyone now for the first time doing this?
It was waiting in the wings. You know, there's something about coming to it when you're a little more mature, too.
Honestly, I'm better off for it. I really, no shade to anyone who dated in high school and college and stuff like that. I'm happy with the journey. I've been
Yeah.
on. I've had to learn some lessons late in life, which has been embarrassing.
Yeah.
But that is, again, like
That's
crushing, having romantic and sexual feelings for another person is embarrassing. Like,
Yeah.
that's embarrassing.
it's always going to be embarrassing. So
It's always
like,
a little
yeah.
embarrassing
Yeah.
because kind of lose yourself, right? It's like, it's a little simping. It is
Yeah.
a little bit like, oh shit, here I am, like bending over backwards, sometimes literally for this guy.
Right.
But it's like, that's life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's always embarrassing, and
You ever try to hear people flirt? It's
Oh.
so humiliating.
I love overhearing first dates. If I'm in a restaurant and
my
there's a first date
God.
happening near me, I'm like telling everybody. I don't care how
But
many
you know
people.
what? When I'm on a first date, I'm like, oh, bitch, everyone is peeping over their
yeah.
shoulder to check out what we're talking about. Ooh, one time I went on a first date. I did not go on a second date with this guy. I gave him a hug. Like, it was very like, I may as well have shook his hand and said like, well, I've enjoyed our time
our
together.
evening together. Yeah.
It was when we were at I'm naming names. We were at All Seasons Brewery, which is like the number one place to take a first date in this fucking
Sure,
town. I don't know if
yeah.
you know that or not. It's like birthdays and first dates. That's where you go.
That's where you go. Yeah.
I went up to the bar and he had like already was there. First of all, strike one. He didn't buy my first drink. Like, honey, you're at the bar with your wallet. Come on now. Some guy said something to us, and the guy I was with, whose name I genuinely can't remember, I would name him if I knew. He turned to the guy and was like, yeah, this is actually our first date. Oh my God, why would you tell him that? And then the bartender was like, oh, first date? Like, oh, Jesus H. We've exchanged like 10 messages to each other on Hinge. And I was going through a phase where anyone who asked me on a date, I said I would go just to get dating experience.
Sure.
Oh my. And then everyone at the bar was like, oh, first date?
Oh,
like,
God.
Oh, yeah, fuck me. It was over before it began,
right.
really.
I hate when people tell restaurants it's my birthday. I would
imagine, oh, we're actually on a first date. Like, I don't know you from Adam, dude.
No, that is private information.
Are you serious? This is a sex interview. Why are you telling people about this?
What I would love to happen when I don't whatever, when this episode gets released, I would love food industry, food service workers to tell us their best overheard first dates.
Oh my God. God, are we going to have to reopen the email again? I'm almost afraid to. We'll reopen the email if you guys can knock it the fuck off with whatever freaky shit you want to send the two of us. That's my one and only warning.
Sarah reads the emails and I do not. Once again, don't do the homework.
That's okay. You do everything else.
She's so kind, folks.
Hey, you came to my apartment this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but never broadcast you on a first date. And
No.
even that's a little bit embarrassing too. Like, ideally at a first date, it starts rough, but then you find something common, then you can like get into it.
All right. Yeah, I want to go back to what you said here. So you had your first you had crushes before. So
yes.
how did you?
So my crush actually was my boyfriend, Kevin Lusk, first and last.
Nice.
Yeah. And
so she nailed it. You nailed the crush to.
He was definitely interested in me, and I definitely knew that.
I mean, that does help with crushes. I
don't have a crush on someone if they don't already have some kind of prerequisite favoritism to me, at least. Like, I'm not gonna have a crush on someone.
You're not going in
that's
blind.
Like, yeah, exactly. Unless you're Joe Burrow, in which case I will just walk up to you and be like, listen,
marriage. Yeah.
Whatever you want, I'll do. But he liked me, and we had definitely become close, and we had been close before. It was kind of like a friends becoming something else kind of deal, which is
that's
ideal.
graceful.
I mean, that everybody wants that, and that's exactly what happened. It was a really nice experience. And it wasn't even that I developed a crush on him. He was just flirting with me, and I didn't mind it. It was the first time that a man was coming on to me, and I was like, a boy was coming on to me, and I was like, actually, this is okay. I think I could do this. I can't remember the first time we made out. I was a virgin. Like, I'm telling you, this was like brand new territory for me. One of the first guys I ever even kissed or made out with. And after that point, it was a little bit like, well, I kind of like that. And I kind of want to do that some more. And on the virginity beat, some of my friends had told me once you lose your virginity, you're going to want to have sex all the time because now you know how good it is.
Right.
And it was kind of like that with me where it's like, oh, we've made out. I actually could do that a little bit more with him. And I know he'll make out with me. And then you progress to the bases and it's like,
sure.
Yeah, actually, I could be at second base a few more times. I could be at third base a few more times. It was a really nice experience. It truly blossomed. And this is a little embarrassing. We were reading Romeo and Juliet. as a part of our theater program.
Not just to each other in a park.
Fuck no. Because when I was like, I think this play is stupid. I can't relate to these people. And honestly, to this day, I still...
No, I mean, they're 14 years old.
Exactly. I'm like, they're giving up they're dying for each other these are like their boyfriend and girlfriend maybe, and they're dying for each other. And my professor, Tom Martin, was like, well, Sarah, you know what that's like to be young and in love. I mean, what was the age that you first fell in love? And I was like, Tom, 19. And Kevin was in the class with me, and it was like everyone kind of knew. But like, yeah, I was like, my face immediately got red because I was like, Tom, I'm telling you, when I say I can't relate to these people, I can't relate to these people.
Yeah, but you know what it's like to be 14 and dramatic. So it's good that you saved your crushes until that settled down.
I just wasn't 14 and like horny like Romeo and Juliet were. Like now I can appreciate loving so much you want to die for them. But like at the time, I was like, this means nothing to me. And I got in like a whole stink about it. I was totally the bitch in that college class. I was like, actually, professor, I have some thoughts of my own. And then like I made the whole thing about me.
Yeah, it's because I don't remember. I have my memories of having crushes. Like I definitely, there were boys who I thought were cute, but I think I had a lot of friends that were dating, and I was such like a goofy, awkward kid. I didn't know how to like turn that. So I
definitely had guys that I thought were cute, and just immediately the thought was like, yeah, but they're not going to be interested in me. Like just immediately like bury the thought.
I never sunk like my hopes into a crush, but I did like always, I was like, but if a boy just liked me.
Yeah.
And they definitely did, but it was never the ones that I wanted to like me, so I just never paid attention to it.
Yeah. Oh, I definitely had guys like me that I was like, honey.
And I think, I was so protective over myself, even at a young age, too, that I was like, I think this person's cute. I'm not going to invest in having a full-blown crush on them, but I'm going to see what I can do to get them to notice me. And my efforts were probably like, not even, it was just, my efforts was just try to be a person.
Mine was
around
like,
them.
I'll just go next to them and I'll be really funny, as if that isn't my fucking approach to every other goddamn human on earth.
I was such a coward. I was just like, so just talk to them about stuff. It's why I know so much about sports.
You know what? Actually, I was thinking about this, that there's still a population of girls that are like, oh, women are only interested in sport. They only pretend to be interested so they can get men.
Right.
And that's not true. The only thing being interested in sports has gotten me with men is into fights. Okay, I'm an Astros fan. I'm an Astros Texan Rockets fan. You think I'm a fan of that base because I'm trying to fuck somebody? Are you serious? I'm getting into fights over this shit.
It was truly the only thing I knew how to talk to boys about.
Even if you are just using sports as a way to talk to guys, baby, that's called game.
Right.
Like, we all pretend to give a fuck about something. I played League of Legends with my first boyfriend. Like, I give a fuck about that.
I guarantee not one man actually enjoys playing the acoustic guitar.
No.
No, it was definitely like my move just to try to be a bro.
Yeah, I definitely.
And I was confident enough in my charm for some reason that I could like slip, although it never really happened.
I always had the fantasy of a guy being like, wow, you're not like the other girls.
Yeah.
Which is so early 2000s.
So early 2000s. There was
internalized misogyny.
There was also so many times where I was just, again, a coward and so in over my head that I did well. Later, back half of high school, I started sort of figuring out what to do with my hair, and
junior and senior year is kind of like,
but yeah, it was less teeth forward.
Yeah.
Facially,
got it.
And I think by that time in school, I with my like school friends and the people in my circle, I was already such like a, awkward, goofy jokester that no one really saw me that way. But every time I would step out of functions and like school functions in that circle, there was always a boy that wanted to talk to me, and I
had that experience as well.
And I was always like, fucking killing it, Bridgett. And then we would exchange phone numbers or email addresses or AIMs or what have you.
Add each other on Facebook.
And then immediately they'd want to meet up, and I'd be like, no, what if they murder me? I immediately was like in over my head and was like, well, I can't meet this boy from 2 towns over. They're going to kill me.
Yeah, I actually just told the story. Maybe I was telling it to you, but I had that experience. So at my high school, as we've long established, just not a lot of men interested in women that go to that school, which is honestly, maybe for the best, you know what I mean? Like I had a great time in high school. But one of my friends from middle school went to a different school. I went to her birthday party. There was a guy there named David. I can't remember his last name. And a friend of mine had said like, dude, David is like kind of talking to you, like kind of like you guys are kind of hitting it off. And I was like, really? And then I started to notice it. And so like we exchanged numbers. We didn't really text all that much. And then a few years later, we were like freshmen in college, and he texted me randomly in the middle of the night and said, hey, do you ever want to come? It was like late at night. He goes, hey, do you ever want to come and watch an Aggies game and then we can fuck?
Whoa, David. How old were you?
I was like 18. This is like freshman year of college.
Okay.
And I'm sure you just assumed that I had gone to school in Texas because like most people do go to school within the state that they're born in.
Yeah.
But I didn't respond, but I will never forget verbatim. That's what the text said. Hey, do you ever want to come over and see an Aggies game and then we can fuck?
I love that.
And we had not spoken in years. I think I met him when I was a sophomore in high school, and he was texting me this shit freshman year of college, which begs the question, how many women had he gone through in his fucking contact book? He was like, I don't know, this girl I met one time when I was 16 might want to come to an Aggies game and then fuck.
Hey, shoot your shot.
I'm not going to fuck after an Aggies game. I'm going to fuck after a UT game, okay?
Like a real one.
What few loyalty I have to Texas state schools that I have.
Lies. Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Shoot your shot.
You know, he was direct. I actually kind of admire
and
like
I kind of respect
listen.
that because sometimes like someone will be like, come over to watch the Aggies game, and then you're like, again, maybe this is you had that part of your brain
sentence,
that will kick in and be like, oh, we really should just watch the game and then I should leave.
Yeah, that sentence, and then we should fuck, is secretly at the end of a lot of texts I receive from guys about like, hey, we could come over to my place so we could smoke weed and then we can fuck.
Clarity is always a good thing.
Do you want to get drinks tonight? And then we can fuck. That
I always think clarity is a good thing. There were less aggressive ways to say that, especially if you haven't talked to the person in several years.
Like 3 years, yeah.
You know, maybe,
and I can't stress enough, we met for one night. And alcohol wasn't even involved. We were like at the age where we were like on the cusp, but we weren't really there yet.
Yeah, that works if you're like in that territory already, maybe. Yeah. Like that's a funny line if like you had fucked a couple times or you had like at least hung out in a romantic context a couple times. A former
flame of mine did word it not too long ago as, do you want to come hang out like we used to? Which I thought that was kind of cheeky. I was like, okay.
Okay, that's sexy.
But the subtext of that is, do you want to come over and then we can fuck?
Right. I do like we used to.
Yeah. Tasteful.
Tasteful. Very tasteful.
Biblical, you know, it's an illusion.
I have like I am almost positive I told this story on Rough Stuff because I had to.
It's been so many years. You may as well say it again.
It's been so many years, and it's such like a classic crush gone wrong story that I will never forget. And yeah, I'm sorry, I'm definitely repeating myself here, but I was at a birthday party. I had a crush, one of those kind of non-committal crushes on just like the generic cutest boy in school. You were interested. I was interested. He was the cutest boy in school. Yeah. Like everybody like knew this kid.
And his name, first and last?
He knows who he is and does not listen to this.
No, fuck no. Everyone I just named, there's not a chance in hell.
Not a chance. But yeah. Do you remember Thai dancing?
Yeah, it's like like at mitzvahs and other kind of events where there's a DJ and kids.
Right. So
I did Snowball, but it's a similar premise where like, oh, you have to pick a boy to dance with and you have to pick a girl or like something along those lines. So someone
like will have a tie on or some sort of belt, ribbon, what have you. And there's a circle of boys and girls dancing. And one person chooses their dance partner by like putting the tie over their neck and like dancing with them, and it's supposed to be this like cute little moment in front of everybody.
Yeah.
There's a lot of very like public.
So it's one-on-one, the two of you are dancing.
It's and everybody watching, and then
okay, because Snowball, everyone partners up, so there's like a little bit of grace in that.
This is worse because
that is terrible
because everybody is watching.
Yeah.
And it's like the moment to publicly state who you have a crush on, and so this boy, he was dating the most popular pretty girl in school.
Naturally.
And I think there's definitely another story here that I've blocked out, but at some point I had said I had a crush on him and it had gotten out.
The worst thing you can ever say in middle school is
like,
that if any middle schoolers are listening to this, never ever tell anyone.
It was, someone had betrayed my trust at some point. I don't remember that story, but I probably should.
Well, I think back then, just as a quick aside, I think like, especially amongst girls, that's all I could speak to. Then they start to like tell other people. And I think in their minds, they think they're helping.
Oh, it was definitely one of those.
By trying to like here's the message, like Morse code being sent through everybody, hoping it gets back to the person.
Right.
But it's like, that's actually the most awful way to go about that.
It definitely was, especially because this boy at the time was dating a girl I could not compete with.
Yeah, and that's also tough.
But so we're in the tie dancing circle at this party. The word had gotten out, and she like picks him to tie dance with. And then he's left holding the tie to pick a new partner. And we all see her whisper something to him. And she goes off, and then he picks me.
I do remember this.
And just a horrible time, because everybody knew what was going on, including myself. I was under no illusions.
Was this at a mitzvah? Am I making that up?
It was at some like dance party.
Okay.
I don't think it was quite
just because that's the shit we did at bar mitzvahs.
Yeah, I think yes. It was that kind of. It was just like a regular middle school dance party.
Yeah.
It's someone's birthday party. Where music, someone plugged an iPhone
I was
into
gonna
a speaker.
Sometimes like whatever it is, if it's like some of those Saturday nights, it's like a whole fucking lifetime of events.
Yes,
happened in that one night.
So not only am I getting this pity dance that just everybody knows, I am dancing and I feel someone like tug at the back of my shirt, and it is his girlfriend, and my shirt was tucked into my granny panties for the entire people circled around us to see. And somehow I lived. I lived through that night.
In the moment, were you okay with it? Or did you know, like, no, I'm dying in the moment. I'm dying. Because sometimes I have things happen to me where I'm like, oh, okay, sure, like, whatever. And then a few minutes later, I'm like, Jesus Christ, that was the most embarrassing thing.
It was definitely that. It was definitely, like, I gotta leave here as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And think about this until my 30s.
Yes. Yes.
And think about this moment into my 30s when there's still a pit in my stomach talking about it. So
yeah.
I think I handled it in the moment very well. I don't remember any tears or breaking down.
Okay, that you didn't cry. That's a win.
Or running home, because I do remember this party being like within walking distance of my house, so I didn't.
Wow, good for you.
So I didn't just like cry and run home like I could have.
Yeah,
I believe.
Let's think about a funny girl. She's got the stamina.
I can do a jokey soft shoe my way out of.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It was a big being knowingly awkward was such a like big protection for me.
Yes, actually, yes.
With a lot of these crushes of like, just be weird. If things get weird, you can be weird, and that's your personality. So that's what gets you through.
You know, honestly, and I talked to my friend Robbie DeStasio when he was in town not too long ago. Mm-hmm. I only recently learned, like when I say recently, within the last 5 years, did I learn that one, I actually am hot, and two, I actually can approach a guy and be successful.
Yeah.
Because I just like, again, in middle school, I just wrote myself off so early of like, oh, I don't think like when guys look at me, they think of me as like someone they could be with. They just
Right.
kind of see me as like one
I
of the
think that too,
guys,
but then
funny, whatever. Literally, my roommate's boyfriend, now husband, Zach Sandoval, told me senior year of college, he's like, oh, any man that is a friend of yours or any man that is nice to you wants to have sex with you. And I was like, no, come on. And I started naming people and he was like, Sarah, any one of those guys would have sex with you.
Well, I think that's what...
That was brand new information to me at the age of 22, 23.
But you got the clues because we talked like when you stepped out of your little environment and there was always a boy that would talk to you.
That's true. That's true. And actually, you know what's fucking crazy? It was when I moved to LA that I realized like, oh, wait a second. I actually like can play this game.
Right.
Like I'm a contender, which is nuts because this is a very competitive field to be in.
It was shocking to me.
But I think that's what it is. It was like a new environment.
Yeah.
I don't have people. I mean, I know some people that I've grown up with that also moved out here, but it also was just kind of like, oh, right. No one's going to like call my mom and talk about this shit because everyone I'm meeting out here is a stranger.
Oh,
I think that was also part of it. Just like the liberation of like, right. Like if I want to be a whore, I totally can because like I'm the only one who's living here.
I was also so traumatized. And again, I will probably reiterate ourselves a lot. But I think when I kissed my neighborhood friend boy, obviously everyone immediately found out about it, including my older brother who didn't confront me, but told my mom, which is smart. And I definitely told the story of my mom sitting on my bed and asking me, oh God, my mom, love her. She's the best.
I'm picturing like her quietly like sliding a condom, like, if you have any questions.
Oh no. She asked me if we used tongue. That was her question. And my soul left my body.
Yeah.
And I don't think ever fully returned.
That's the other thing about being a late bloomer and losing your virginity at 19. Honey, I already know. And my mom knows I don't know. My dad, like everyone is all on the same page. And it's like, great. I could just do this now.
Yeah.
And it's fine. I'm away from home. No one has to know.
Yeah, I think having an older brother was tough because also like a lot of the boys I had crushes on would be his friends.
I mean, is that not like the stereotypical?
A little bit.
To have the crush on the older brother's friends.
So there was also, it had somehow gotten back to me that my mom was a teacher at my high school.
Right.
She taught the lower school. And I guess one of the other teachers overheard boys from Josh's grade talking in the classroom and told my mom this, who then told me this for some reason, that she overheard the boys talking about like the girls in the lower grade and said, yeah, Bridgett really is starting to look good, but she looks too much like her older brother. And it's true.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I really can't say anything to you. That is actually true.
Which is my brother and I look.
I feel like that's code for, hey, Bridgett is growing tits, but that's really fucking crazy.
That's exactly what happens because anyone who has met my brother and I or have been in the same room with my brother and I will comment on like it's generally me.
I'm not kidding. The first time I met him, you were standing next to him and I was like, oh, hey, everybody. And then you were like, do you want to meet my brother? And I was like, it did not even register to me that there was a second person in the room.
Yeah.
He flew into town. I was like, I know who you are.
It's just like tall me with scruff.
Yes.
He looks exactly like me and we have very similar mannerisms.
Yes.
People comment on that a lot too when we're in the room together. So I think if you knew my brother and you were friendly with my brother, there was no way you didn't also see him.
Yeah.
And that also made my life a little difficult and like I had to definitely got more attention from boys that I liked when I was out of those zones.
Yeah. See, this is another reason why it's okay that I went to high school with not a lot of straight guys because it's like that just seems like I hear horror stories from girls like, oh yeah, my high school boyfriend, I dated him for 3 years and he was such a piece of shit. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, there's a part of me that's like, oh, I'm kind of glad I skipped that.
I wanted a boyfriend so badly in high school. And I never had one, and I just like watched all my friends have them, and I was like, "Oh, that
That's the other thing. Not a lot of my girlfriends did have boyfriends because it was hard. Like, if you wanted a boyfriend at my school, you almost had to be dating someone from another school, which that's fucking hard to do when you have rehearsal after school every day, and also like you can barely drive, if that. Social media, we had Facebook, you know what I mean? Like it was just hard. Like you really had to like make an effort. And I didn't care that much. I had one night, oh, this is sad. I want to say sophomore year. I don't know. I guess like I was getting my first dose of hormones. I literally cried myself to sleep thinking no one is ever going to like me
Oh.
and I'm never going to have a boyfriend
Yeah.
because I'm 16 or 15 and it hasn't happened yet.
I've definitely had those
And-
thoughts at that age. Yeah.
and I woke up the next day just like, that's okay. I'm just going to be me. My whole life, that's going to be it.
I definitely had those thoughts too. And so, you know, if you're listening to that age, you can have what happened to me happen and have a boyfriend. And I didn't. This
Yeah.
happened yesterday. Who got catcalled and I didn't. We were standing
Wow.
next to each other in the street and he got catcalled. And
It was me. I disguised my voice because I know
Yeah.
you'd hear me.
and I was just standing there like, what the fuck?
Yeah. But you know what? In hindsight, that was obviously very sad. And like sad that a 15-year-old girl is like, no one's ever gonna like me. Like,
Yeah.
honey, look around. What circumstances at this performing arts high school? Like, no shit, no boy likes you. They
No, but
like, you know, it's tough. But the experience, again, waking up the next morning thinking like, well, I'm just gonna be me and that's gonna be it. Actually, good character building. And I'm happy that now I am my own person. So now I can be a slut and I can have crushes on people because it's like, even if it doesn't work out at the end of the day, like, that's cool. I'm just being me. And because I've been single for most of my life, that's kind of like my default state. So like,
Yeah.
I don't even really notice anymore
Yeah.
as
I-
we're in my apartment that I live in by myself.
Yeah. No, I was definitely. That's absolutely how I operated for most of my. But I had a thing where I knew. I dug in my hometown. I had dug myself a hole too deep with this goofy protective persona I had.
Mm.
That I was very highly aware that when I went to college, that was going to be. That's when I could come into my own.
Yeah. I know a lot of girls.
I was very well aware that was going to be my time. That high school and middle school, romantically, were going to be washes
Yeah.
for me. I mean, I had some good makeout sessions in high school, but
Sure, you know, that's all good, clean fun.
Yeah, but they were few and far in between, and definitely hated.
My friends and I actually, when we went to high school, I can't remember the code word. After we went to college, all of us left high school virgins. All of us left high school almost dateless. If anything, like maybe someone had gotten like in the pants on hand job, like
Sure.
simple, basic kind of stuff. Oh my God. I can't remember. Was it IHOP? We had a group chat and we all agreed on a code word that when we lost our virginities, we would text each other. I think it was IHOP. And this is like guys and girls. Like, and so like slowly, like so freshman and sophomore year, just like one night in the middle of the night, it's like, IHOP. I'm like, oh my God, it's happening for us. We're doing it.
Isn't that better than this is embarrassing than what it's better to have a code word, I would say, because like
Then someone just being like, I lost my virginity.
well because you wanted to tell your friends when it happened.
totally. It's
We had
like, you know, it's
so
a rite
like
of
I
passage.
actually texted those words to like my handful of best friends that had to
Yes.
know the news.
Had to tell him.
And then I had it was like the time with phones when everyone thought it was funny to go through your phone when we didn't have like that etiquette yet.
True.
And one of my guy friends, whose friend I had slept with,
Oh no.
saw the text message, and friend was the wrong word. They did not like each other. It was the
Acqu-
opposite of friendship.
Acquaintance.
Yeah. No, they actively didn't like each other.
Oh, enemy.
Yeah. And this was like one of my best guy friends saw it, and he was like, were you gonna tell? Like, I was like, well, why are you going through my phone, man?
Yeah. We
so you know, code words.
IHOP. But I mean, it's you were texting about everything else, and then someone's just like IHOP. We had one friend that was a holdout. At the end of sophomore year, we're all in town, and it was me and the girls in the car. So we were like, "Okay, girl, are we really home? Like, what is the deal?" We're all texting IHOP, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I had sex freshman year of college, but I'm not gonna text you guys that are having sex." And literally, my friend who was driving parked the car in the middle of the road, was like, "Are you serious? The rest of us did it. Like, what the fuck? Oh, you're better than us." All of a sudden, we were so mad. We were like, "How dare you? Oh, you're a lady and you're not gonna share." The rest of us are sending each other texts like, "First blowjob down in the books." Like we're keeping it like we're friends. What the fuck?
Yeah,
we're supposed to know these things about each other.
You have to tell your girls.
Come on, it's fun. Get into it.
Yeah, and you have to tell them. I don't like as we hear me stuttering through this conversation.
Oh, kissing and telling is awful.
I don't like it, but you got to
lose your virginity. I mean, come on. I actually know some people that like. Well, there's telling your friends you lost your. We're talking about crushes, but just to wrap up this virginity topic, because we could do a whole episode about this.
Yeah,
I feel like with women, there's layers. There's like telling your friend, and then there's the day that like either you tell your mom or your mom finds out.
Oh, I didn't either.
But your mom found out, surely.
Well, I think she just put it together. Like I think she just. I don't know if she found out, or she was just like, well, you're at an age now. Where she assumed. I don't know.
Yeah, I got freaked out about pregnancy one time, and I had a full-fledged boyfriend. This was boyfriend Kevin. And I called my mom like, I'm sexually active. And she was like, Sarah, yeah, of course you are.
Yeah.
You just got on birth control the same month you started dating your boyfriend.
My mom
shit, Sherlock. And looking back, I'm like, yeah, of course.
My mom lost her privileges when she cut out a picture of Matthew McConaughey.
I was so afraid you're about to tell me the time that your mom told you about when she lost. Like, yeah, she lost her virginity back in.
She sat me down and told me everything. No,
that's something I never need to know.
No, never.
Never. I don't need to know.
Yeah, no, she lost her privileges when she cut out a picture of Matthew McConaughey and put it in a heart frame, and then years later asked me if I used tongue. She just kept reminding me that she lost her privileges to know things.
You have to stop saying lost her in this conversation. Like, both times you're really leading me on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I know nothing about that story, and I prefer it that way.
Nobody needs to know that about any person except your friends from high school, and you have to text
Then
them.
It's very important.
Of course. Yeah, but I really struggled with this really up until like 25.
Yeah.
And then like, I think once my brain matured fully and like my skull was finally hard.
You needed to bake fully, and I think that's better.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm almost a little bit proud of I for so long, even into adulthood, I was really embarrassed about it. Like I was really like, oh my God. Again, like I questioned my sexuality for a very long time up until I literally woke up one day when I was 26 and I was like, I've never had a dream where I'm hooking up with a woman, so I feel like that's a wrap. You know what I mean?
Probably. Yeah.
I feel like by this point, if I was gay, if I was interested in women, like that would have
come across somehow.
Like somewhere in my subconscious, I would have gotten a hint.
Yeah.
But now I'm free to have crushes and I can have.
You can crush as much as you want.
I'm working on a crush right now on somebody. I don't know if it's going to be a full-fledged crush, but I think he's a suitor. He could be a player.
Yeah.
It's easy. Crushing is easy when you're an adult.
Yeah.
And that word doesn't really mean anything.
And it doesn't,
like some of my friends are getting married. I'm like, yeah, I might develop a crush on that person just for fun.
It sounds more fun.
And you know what?
It's a more fun thing to consider a crush than any other decision that comes with having a relationship.
I saw this thing on Twitter that was like, having a low-level crush really is like the zest of life. Yeah. Like, as torturous as it is to like wake up and like, did he text me? Oh my God, he saw my post? Like, is he going to say something? Like, that game is torture.
Right.
But there's something it's like almost like a mystery. It's like something like a little bit like, ooh, I'm playing a bit of a game. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. Like, maybe he's going to come back. Maybe he'll text me. Like, maybe not. And like, I don't really give a fuck. But it's like, the mystery is like, now I can appreciate it's fun because I'm confident in myself and my self-worth is no longer dependent on what other people think of me. Because I'm 30.
Right. I also think for me, kind of developing crushes a little younger, it's still a late bloomer, but I think less. It was good for my imagination to kind of like let myself run away with a little fantasy.
Totally. Something to help you fall asleep at night.
Yeah. No, it was fun. And as an adult, if I like went through a period where I wasn't like interested in anybody, I was like, kind of wish, you lie awake at night and you're like, I kind of wish I could just like run away with a little fantasy about a crush I have right now.
Yes. And I will say the ultimate pro and con of like you versus me, you crush when you're younger. Yeah, you're now in a committed relationship that I would say is pretty serious. And I'm like fully single and I'm like, I don't even fucking know.
Yeah.
So like I'm just like 5 years behind. That's okay. And it's not a race, it's a marathon. But that is the con of not having crushes when you're younger.
I didn't date either and I wanted to.
Yeah.
I didn't date like a ton and I wanted to. And that, it sucked being like, I'm just stuck in this role.
Yeah, now I'm in my high school phase. Now I'm in my phase of like, let's see like who's out there, like who's hanging around.
I wish I was someone who crushed and was confident. when I was younger.
You can't do both at the same
You
time.
can't do both
A
at the same
crush
time.
diminishes your confidence.
It does.
Any self-assurance you have goes away when the crush really becomes like capital C crush.
Right.
Like you like a person.
Yeah.
That is when it's like you fall to your knees and you're not the person that you usually are.
Sure.
And it's humiliating, but you know what? It's life.
It's life.
And is that not rough stuff?
That is rough stuff. Let's close with
A prayer.
a prayer. No, say celebrity, fictional character, fuck it, cartoon crush.
I mean, my go-to, the blueprint, Mr. Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter,
Right.
Prisoner of Azkaban. That was a moment. He is the blueprint. I really do find that men I'm attracted to share many personalities. Short King, starting there.
That's a
Short
good one.
King.
That's a good.
I still have a place in my heart for Daniel Radcliffe. He's got this girlfriend, but like, should anything ever happen,
You're right there.
that is someone who like, I for real, if he were single and I was in the same place as him, I really would maybe like try to chat him up. Why not?
Yeah.
If I'm rejected, it's like, well, hey,
Well, if you're in the same place with Daniel Radcliffe, shoot your shot. How many times are you gonna get that opportunity?
please. Same with Joe Burrow. Definitely with Joe Burrow.
Definitely with Joe. You should slide
With
into.
tears in my eyes.
Yeah.
Oh,
slide
don't tell me
into
to
those
slide
DMs.
into a pro athlete DM. I've gotten in trouble with that before. I will not. I will not. They read that. Spoiler, they do read your DMs.
That's a story for a different day. I'm trying. I'm trying to think who.
I will not name first and last names on that one. Oh, God. Yeah. Careful who you DM on Instagram because they actually might respond.
Yeah.
Whew. What about
yeah.
you?
I'm trying.
JTT?
JTT was a
Did
big
you
one
ever
for me.
I know this is pretty common. Did you ever have a crush on like Simba
Yes.
or like any of
But
the animal characters?
It's interesting because at the time, I had a crush on Simba, and I only had a crush. Again, this is at the time, not present day, Bridget. I no longer have a crush on Simba, but when I did, I only had a crush on the version of him that was voiced by JTT.
Yeah.
I
Not like Matthew Broderick,
because
teenage Simba.
People are talking about adult Simba having a crush. I never had a crush on adult Simba.
No,
I
because
only
you were
had
a
a
little
crush
girl
on
and he's a little
Simba.
boy.
Yeah, I didn't like him with the mane. Didn't like the long hair Simba.
Well, let me tell you, you and I enjoyed the fuck out of the live action Lion King. Just the first 5 minutes.
The first 5 minutes.
So good.
Robin Hood Fox was another one.
You know, that was my
had swag.
papa's favorite movie to watch with us.
Sure.
So like,
Okay.
that was like family. Robin Hood was like family to me.
That's fair.
I couldn't see him like that.
That's fair. I also had a big crush on John Krasinski as Jim from The Office.
Oh, that's a classic. When
Yeah.
I was in preschool, I did tell all of my classmates that I had a crush on my cousin Nikki.
Oh, weird.
But
But you know,
and like, oh, he's like, I have a crush, so he's my boyfriend. Because I just think I misunderstood what that meant.
right? Yeah,
Like, I really did like him a lot.
right. He was the boy you spent a lot of time with, and
I
like
mean,
you
not.
played
But
with.
the thing
Yeah.
is, not even. He'd only come because he grew up in California.
Oh, okay.
So like, I'd only see him every now and then. I was like, oh, I really like him. Like, I love my cousin. Like, I have a crush. And I remember another classmate was like, you can't have a crush on your cousin. I was like, oh, says who?
Yeah,
Everybody, actually. It's Texas.
yeah. It's
I was 4.
Look
for fuck's
around.
sake.
Yeah, get you some
4
slack.
years old.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. You know, I always
Adrian Brody, the OC.
Adrian Brody.
That
the
was
OC.
kind of the first time that
Oh.
I was like, I know what a boyfriend should be. And it's this.
Adrian Brody is a big one.
Yeah.
I just watched Fleischman in Trouble, and still a big one. Turns out.
So cute. Is he with Leighton Meester?
He is
That is so iconic
great.
of the two of them to be together.
Yeah, I think that is another show that like really made me feel bad about myself as a kid, being like,
Yeah.
look at how they're dating. I should be dating,
Did
but
you
I
read
don't
the
know
Click
how.
series? Because that was poison.
Poison.
Yeah,
I'm
brain
trying.
rot poison.
Yeah, I'm trying to close with a more modern day crush than Chase.
I know. Who's like the most recent? But now that's the
I
thing.
mean,
Like, I'm
Adrian-
like, oh, I got a crush on this, him, her.
Right, Adrian Brody.
Everyone, like, yes, I love them.
Adrian Brody, still a big one. Jeremy Allen White has come across as everybody's big crush from The Bear.
Wow. Okay. Again,
and Shameless.
My
when-
sister works at a Chicago restaurant, so it's like that's family.
Oh, when he was
That's family.
When he was Lip from Shameless, big crush on him back then too.
You know, I'm not into that kind of guy. I'm not into that kind of guy. But
I know.
I respect it. I respect it for others.
Yeah, yeah.
Who's
But-
my most recent celeb crush? Oh my God. Actually, you know who I said I have a lowercase c crush on because he is literally 10 years younger than me and it's like he's a little baby boy.
Mhm.
Mr. Gabriel LaBelle, who plays Steven Spielberg in The Fablemans.
Okay.
I don't know. Have you seen that yet?
I have not seen it
He's I like, again, lowercase crush on that, like, he's a cutie.
yet. Okay.
But like, I not like in a way like I would hit on him. He's a child. I could be his mother.
Kind of how I feel about Tom Holland.
But oh yes, but also I remember hearing my mom and other ladies my mom's age say that about young men.
Yeah.
Like, oh, isn't he so cute? Don't you have a little crush on him?
Yeah.
Be like, ew. But now I get it. It's like, I don't want to fuck this kid, but I think he's adorable.
But cute is cute.
Cute. Crush.
Cute.
Little crush on young man, young boy, young talent.
Well, there we
This
are.
is good. This is the first rough stuff in a while. Congratulations. We did it.
We did it again, service industry workers. We really want to hear your stories, overheard first dates. You guys get a great.
We can do a whole first date episode.
Oh yeah.
Really? Well, yeah, actually, oh my God. No, tweet us. Tweet us in public so everyone can see what you're saying. At Rough Stuff Pod, which I will dust off and use again. That's my vow to you. Because you know what? I do want to say, shout out to y'all listeners, because since we've been on hiatus, we have gotten genuinely comments on the Rough Stuff page, Facebook page, which is an archive basically at this point. People have tweeted us asking about the show. I know y'all have reached out to Abe and Swaim and everyone's Small Beans. I see the comments. I just want to say thank you for still thinking of us and listening to the back catalog.
No, we love doing this show, and we're glad other people liked it enough to inspire us to dust it off again. Because
and we have been retooling this for a while. We have not abandoned it and just now remembered to do it. It's been in the works.
Because I didn't do my homework, but no time like the present.
Exactly. So thank you all for being continued listeners. We promise that we will give you high quality, super embarrassing,
more content. We're doing rough stuff. We're still doing shooting threes, so look out for the next of that.
And let me
we
tell
got a
ya.
Cast and Curious in the works.
Oh my God, that movie's coming out this year.
It's coming in fast and
Oh my
furious.
God.
So,
and I gotta say, you haven't seen our first movie in our trilogy of shooting threes, but everybody, take a deep breath. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, so we're really excited. There's a lot of content. You're not getting rid of us.
It's 2023, new year, new BNS talent division. What did I call us that one time? BNS Entertainment Division of Small Beans.
Yeah, the BS Division of Small Beans.
I just know it's BS, which is what it is.
Which is what it is. But yeah, thank you for listening. If you have any topics, embarrassing topics you want us to cover, tweet at us. We read them.
Yes, at Rough Stuff Pod.
Or at Bridgett Tweets.
Or at SK_Griffith.
And you'll hear us later.
Every month.
Every month. Bye, guys.
Bye.
This has been a Small Beans endeavor. We're a bunch of pals who make podcasts, sketches, music, web series, and movies. The Beans always have new ideas percolating, so make sure to check us out at patreon.com/smallbeans. That's patreon.com/smallbeans, where you can browse all of our current and past content, see what we've got planned in the future, and learn how your support can help the Small Beans grow into huge, giant monster beans. If you enjoyed this content module, please like, rate, subscribe, or tell a friend about us. We love you!